It first came from the Idaho Tribune. They put out, we have begun hearing rumors that Washington Governor Jay Inslee has acquired a retirement property in Hayden Lake, Idaho. Is Governor Inslee the man who presided over vaccinations, disastrous Antifa riots, and the anarchist zones like CHOP welcomed in Idaho? I mean, the answer is, of course, no. But that rumor kind of persisted, and I think we had talked about the rumor on our show, and then it kind of died down for a while. And then Ari Hoffman was on Newsmax yesterday or the day before, and he was joking about Jay Inslee may be moving to Idaho. And I think that's what prompted this from Jay Inslee. So he takes to X and he says, oh, this cracks me up. Disreputable right-wing media don't usually get under my skin. But that is the case when they suggest I have plans to move to Idaho after I leave office. Washington already has the best potatoes anyway. Oh, got him there.
Hilarious.
Like, oh my God, he's such an old man. His little dad jokes. So that makes it sound like he says he's not moving to Idaho. And he says disreputable right-wing media, doesn't usually get under my skin. But when they say I'm leaving my state and the best potatoes in the nation behind, well, that just bothers me. So I'm like, okay, like for any other person, that would be the end of the story. For any other person, that would be the end of the story. I'd be like, well, he says he's not moving to Idaho, so he must not be. But we're not talking about any other person. We're talking about, speaking of disreputable, one of the most disreputable politicians in the country.
At what point are you going to tell the people of Washington State that they're going to possibly see much higher gas prices next year because of the CO2 emissions tax?
Well, that's not true. They are not going to see much higher gas prices, maybe even lower than they are today. This is going to have minimal impact, if any, pennies. We're talking about pennies. Potentially.
Are you trying to bribe voters with this?
No, they're trying to take away $200 from these families. Who wants to take away $200 credit from a family to help them with their costs of these low-income folks? That's reprehensible. You know what else? It's weird.
Governor, I'd like to ask you about what's going on in Seattle. There's this thing called the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone. What's your thought on that? The fact that the protesters have taken that over and not allowing people to come and go freely? Regarding the National Guard.
Well, that's news to me, so I'll have to reserve any comment about it. I have not heard anything about that.
What should voters make of the fact that you were apparently oblivious to police abandoning an entire precinct in the state's largest city? You have 1 minute, 15 seconds.
Yeah, well, listen, if you look at the facts of that situation, I could not have been oblivious to it because I actually deployed the Washington State National Guard.
Sir, then why do you say you did not know about it?
You'll have to go back and look at some quote. I can't comment on the quote right now.
This is news to me. You went on to say, I haven't heard about it from any credible source nearly 2 days after CHOP happened. You're now saying you did know about CHOP.
Listen, I can't tell. I knew about CHOP. That's why we had state troopers ready to respond at the city's request.
Yeah. So Jay Inslee is the definition of disreputable, so you'll forgive me if I don't quite believe him when he says he's not moving.